Hi guys, so a little video. One of you guys asked me to make a video of the WiseFab system along with the HSD suspension. So here goes. One of the things that you have to do when you're putting in the WiseFab is that you have to cut a hole in your tower to fit this brace underneath. Now, this is to make the WiseFab kit have the right dimensions, or what you would say, like it sets the camber the right place and stuff like that. So once you cut this hole and put it in, it's a fixed position. You can't change your camber anymore after this point. So this is what you have to do. Now, a complaint, or I don't know what you want to say, call it, but for me personally, I think it's really sad that a kit for the price of the WiseFab doesn't have a paper template. It would take them a half an hour to do, and it would cost them less than €1 to make a printed copy of a template you could put on each of your towers to mark where the point is that you have to drill and how big the hole should be. All of this we had to find out ourselves, and I mean, it's just stupid that you wouldn't give a paper template. Yeah, I mean, anyways, so this you definitely have to be aware of that. It requires some skill and also a little bit of tinkering, because you hold this plate underneath to find where is the point. What we did was that we we marked the plate underneath with a lot of grease, and then we held it up to the right position. We bolted it in, then we bolted it out. Then from underneath you could see exactly where the hole should be. Then we drilled a small hole through the tower so that you knew where the big hole should be, and then we made the big hole. I mean, yeah. That took a lot of time. A paper template on top, drill, finished. That would have been easy. But I guess, yeah, okay, some people just don't give a fuck, I guess. Anyways, so with the WiseFab, what you get is a lot of angle. I mean, you can see this car can almost, and that is not even full angle because the car is not started and everything. But you get a lot of angle. Now, I personally like to have this kit on my car because it makes me look like a pro. Because when I make a mistake, I can catch it. I can catch my drift mistakes so far, and you can get your ass so far out of shape and you can still catch it because you can turn the wheels so much. So I mean, I think it's a 1,250 euros for this WiseFab angle kit for my E46 M3. This is the Formula Drift legal kit, and I mean, I think that money is really well spent. Now, if you are just getting into drifting, that is definitely not the most important things you need to do. I mean, the most important things I would say is 100% get a new suspension. That was just the bomb update that I did. What the fuck is my phone saying now that the video is broken? No, it's still running. Yeah, okay. Anyways, get a new suspension and then fix your diff. Make sure you have a locking diff or weld it or something. Those two things are the most important things. Okay, anyway, moving on. What should I show you? I mean, suspension wise, the HSD suspension, I mean, there's not much to see. It sits here, there's the rear. It looks kind of stuck. I mean, then there's adjustment from inside. You have, I think, 20 adjustments for how hard and how soft it is. I personally are running somewhere around 7 clicks to 9 clicks. That's what I like. Yeah, and of course, it's height adjustable. It's like a collar here you can adjust. Oh, sorry. You can loosen this collar, and then the thread can go up and down inside this cylinder. Then you can lock it again, so you can height adjust. And the same goes for the front. Now let me come on now. Yeah, as you can see, exhaust and stuff is missing. I'm in the middle of putting in a new race clutch. I will make a video on that later. Anyways, to continue the WiseFab kit. So what the kit is this big. I don't know what's the word in English. Sorry. This big piece of iron here comes in. You'll take off your old piece and you put up this new piece. It will then come with new brackets here on the body. Here you can adjust your that's got to be your caster. That's how much, yeah, how do I show you caster? That's how much your wheel is forward or backward like that. And camber is the other way, how much your wheel is like that. It's pretty difficult with a mobile phone and shit, but you get the point. Anyways, you'll have to bolt this stuff on. Then it has a bracket which bolts onto the spindle, and then it has a new rod here that's also part of the kit. Now, one thing you guys should take note of is when you put it on, make sure that you lock tight this bolt. Put it on, make sure everything is the right way, and so on. When you're ready to leave it on, this bolt, give it Loctite. If you don't do it, you will be drifting a couple of hours and this bolt would go loose, and it's just bullshit every time. That is one of the things you definitely need to do. Yeah, what more is there to say? Really, I mean, it is what it is. I had some issues with these. I don't know. They're kind of like balls or something, half balls or something that sits in this part. I had some issues with those getting worn out. I had issues with there's like a little iron flange here, or aluminum flange or whatever the fuck it is. Also had issues with those wearing off. And I mean, I go drifting, but not that much. But those are parts that you should probably get along with the kit. You know, these flanges, get 4 of those, and then get 2 of these ball thingies down there. That's yeah, that's about it. That's about the problems that I have with the kit. Other than that, paint on the kit is a little bit, I mean, they didn't primer the parts. They just painted in blue, you know, just blue on the iron. So the paint comes off pretty easy. You can see, I mean, if you care about that. I just think again, for 1,200 euros, I mean, put some fucking primer on it so that it's nice and good. But anyways, it is what it is. You don't have so many choices when it comes to angle kits. I think there's WiseFab, and then there's an American guy called SLR. I haven't tried it, and it's not available here in Germany, I think. So pretty much you can only go with WiseFab. What's more to say? Yeah, okay, so the front suspension, here's the coilover, is the only thing that I don't like about it so much is, for some reason, these locking collars, especially this one, because the wheel turns all the time, if you don't tighten that really well, I mean really, you gotta put every ounce of power you have in it. Even take a rubber hammer and hammer the fuck out of your wrench so it's really tight. If you don't do that, it will come loose. That is one thing that is annoying. The other thing that's annoying is to adjust the suspension, how hard and soft it is. It sits up there in that hole, you know? I mean, you have to, I don't even think you can see it, but you have to put a Allen key, size 4 or whatever it is, up into this hole, find the middle, and then that little screw, and then you can adjust the sensitivity, how hard and how soft the suspension is. That's also sad. But okay, the HSD suspension is about €1,000. The next step would be like a KW coilovers. There would be 2,500, I think, or maybe €3,000. So this kit is super, super good. If you don't mind those few things, I mean, this is the bomb, I think. One thing that I made as a mistake is that when you put the WiseFab kit on, as you can see, I don't have the stabilizer, the front stabilizer bar, or what you call it here. That you can remove. The WiseFab doesn't need it. Now there's a bracket on the suspension for this, for the stabilizer bars. Normally goes up and attaches to that bracket up there. This you shouldn't put on your suspension. Just leave that bracket off. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think if you don't put on the bracket, you don't have to use this one to lock the bracket, and you could use this ring to lock that one in place. The reason I have the ring up there is because I don't want the bracket to turn around and hit the tire and stuff. So that's something to think about once you put on your suspension. Yeah, what's more? So when you put on your suspension, you will assemble your coilovers on the floor, on your bench or whatever. You'll just hand tighten these rings so that the spring up there is not loose, but hand tighten, and then maybe turn this ring 180 degrees so it's tight. That's it. That's your settings. That's your preload. That's really good. At least that's what I think. Yeah, and the same goes for the suspension in front. It's height adjustable. That means that if you loosen this disc, this thread can go down, up and down inside this tube, and that way you can adjust your height of your car. Now, maybe I didn't tell you guys this. Let me see if I can turn this forward like that. So one of the things is when you put on the WiseFab kit, your wheels will come out a lot. As you can see, they come out wider than the fender. Now, if you don't want to cut your fenders and put what is called wide body kits and all this shit on it, it's not a problem, You just don't put your car down, don't lower it so much, there's no need to slam it all the way to the ground. Now, I'm running here it is. I'm running 235/40/18, and I'm running what you call a square setup. That means I'm running 235/40/18 all the way around. Now, why do I do that? Well, for one, it's really easy to bring with me tires. I don't have to bring two different sets of tires for front and for back. So I just bring all the same tires, all the same wheels. If I hit something and the front wheel is damaged, I can change it to any spare that I have with me because they're all running the same. This is what we call a square setup. I think it's really good. At least for what I'm doing. That's my personal opinion. So I think fucking 14 minutes of speaking. Anyways, you asked me to make a little WiseFab video, and here it goes. I hope you find this information helpful in deciding what you want to do with your car. And yeah, Have fun drifting, guys. Bye.